Welcome back to our
Thank you.
two-part video series with you, Stefanie Tam. You are a two-time breast cancer survivor. You were diagnosed for the first time at age 30 and then again at age 38. In this video, I want to get into your second diagnosis because in the first video we talked about how you first found out you had breast cancer. So I want to talk about your second diagnosis and what this treatment meant for you. And then I want to get into the kind of amazing story of how you met our CEO, Elizabeth, the CEO of Embr Labs, in a gym elevator. So tell me about your second diagnosis and what this meant for your lifestyle.
I think when I got diagnosed the second time, it's really when reality hit.
Yeah.
That this was my life. This was something that I would constantly have to think about and something that I would constantly have to adjust to. So for my second diagnosis, we took a much more aggressive approach this time.
Yeah, because in the first one, you didn't do chemo, radiation, no.
Nope.
Yeah.
It was stage 0, best case scenario, no family history, no BRCA genes. And as far as we could tell, it was a fluke. So we took the conservative approach. And then the second time, because it happened within such a short period, and because it honestly wasn't supposed to happen a second time, let alone the first time, right? The doctors sat me down and they said, we need to go more aggressive this time to give you the best chance possible. And I agreed with it. So the second time, we did a mastectomy again.
So you had a single mastectomy the first time.
Yep.
You'd already been through this.
Yep.
You have it again.
Yep.
What is this like?
I didn't even think was possible.
Yeah, wait, how does that even work? Because you had implants.
Yep. So
tell me about this.
The way it works is they have found the cancer on the edge of my breast, which was on my skin. So what's left remaining to be removed is that chunk of skin. But the problem is you can't just remove that little area or the nodule that's sticking out. You need to remove around it because chances are it may have spread. So it was literally like taking a shark bite out of the side of my breast.
Oh my God.
And they just took that chunk out.
Okay. So you've had this
chunk removed.
Mm-hmm. You decided to do chemo and radiation, like the treatment was much more intense this time around.
Yep.
Okay. And you also had to do the same estrogen suppressing medication as you had to do the first time.
So we did chemotherapy this time, and then radiation. And then, yes, I had to do another estrogen suppressing medication for another 5 years, which I am currently in the middle of now.
Yeah.
The first time I was on a medication called tamoxifen, it wasn't as intense. This second time, I am on anastrozole with 3-month Lupron shots.
Okay, so you are in the middle of your second round of treatment. Mm-hmm. How many years has it been since the start of the second diagnosis?
It has been a couple years now.
Okay. And how are you feeling?
Run down.
Run down.
Yeah, I am feeling run down. The medication that I'm on causes a lot of side effects. And it's a battle each day. Just the medication alone, we went through multiple iterations of it because the original medication I was on, whichever manufacturer it was causing too many side effects. I had extreme joint pains. I get a lot of hot flashes, which is ironically probably the least of my worries.
But they're still pretty severe from what I understand.
Yeah.
They can be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about what it's like to be put into an artificial menopause? Because I think from what I understand, regular menopause, as it is, takes years to actually, for women to go through. But you were put into an artificial menopause, which is different because normally menopause takes years for women to go through. For you, it's like a sledgehammer to the body where you're on this medication and the next day it's like you're in menopause artificially at 38, which is not typically when maybe perimenopause at the beginning, but not full menopause. Yep. Can you talk about that?
Yep. Yeah, and keep in mind too, this is my second time.
Yes, the second time going through an artificial menopause. Yeah.
The first time, it wasn't nearly as bad, or it wasn't as intense, and I just remember powering through it. And now this second time, because it's a much more aggressive treatment, like everything is heightened, and I can feel my body wanting to battle against all these different side effects or against this medication. And because of that, it's giving me all these side effects, essentially saying, no, like your body's not supposed to be going through this yet. What are you doing? So let me tell you that these things aren't supposed to be happening. And it's coming out in the form of all of these side effects.
Did you wish you had the wave at the time?
I really, really wish that I had it during chemotherapy. I remember my doctors going through the list of potential side effects, and when they talked about hot flashes, I was like, oh, whatever. I dealt with that my first round when I was on the estrogen suppressing medication. That was when I was on tamoxifen, and I powered through it. So I've been there, done that.
Like so many women just power through.
Yep. Yeah. I'll just do it again. It'll be fine. And I just remember halfway through the chemotherapy, I was just pacing back and forth in my living room because the hot flashes were so intense. I didn't know what to do because there was nothing I could do. And I was just pacing. And I really wish I had met Liz sooner.
Yes.
Because that was the time when I had felt the most intense of the side effect.
So I want to ask you about that a little bit because it comes back to obviously the work we do at Embr, but I have to hear the story about how you met our CEO in a gym elevator and how that went for you because you were going through chemo, you were experiencing all of the side effects. Can you tell me the story?
So one of the biggest decisions I had to make when I decided to do the chemotherapy was knowing that I was going to lose my hair. All, if not most of it. And I'm the type of girl where I've always had my hair down to my waist. So it was a big deal for me. And for me personally, even though it's just cosmetic, it's just hair, but to me it was a big visual cue that you're sick, you are going through treatment, and it's not like the hair would just fall out one day. It was slowly coming out in batches. And it was a lot for me to go through. So I went to my hairdresser as soon as I could when I only had about an inch or two of hair. And I was like, throw some hair extensions in. I need something on my head.
Like do whatever you can do.
Just do what you can do. And my poor hairdresser struggled, but she got it on. And, and I remember I had little straggler hair sticking out everywhere because my hair was just starting to grow back out. And she was using hairspray. We hit everything with a big thick headband over it just to try to pat it down. And I got into this elevator to go to my car, and I remember Liz came in and she turns to me and right away she goes, wow, your hair looks amazing. It's beautiful.
Oh.
And I perked up and I was like, thank you so much.
You have no idea how much that means.
It was the timing, the fact that she felt the need to say something, and it was just even just the female camaraderie where, you know, she made me feel better.
Yeah.
And I just came right out and I told her, and I said, it's all fake. Because I was just so happy that, you know, she decided to compliment me. And here I am, like, worrying that it looks fake, and a complete stranger is just giving me this amazing compliment that I just really needed at that time.
And did you tell her what you were going through?
Yep.
Yeah.
I told her right
whole
away, and I
thing.
said, well, actually, it's fake. And, you know, I had chemotherapy, yada, yada. And then she had a funny question for me, which was, do you get hot flashes?
Oh my God. And you were like, yes,
And I
every
was
day,
like,
all
yes,
day long.
how did she know? Right. And that was kind of the start of our blossoming relationship, where
That's
she started
awesome.
telling me about Embr Labs and, you know, what they did to combat hot flashes. And it was amazing. And I remember telling her how I said, you know, I wish I had met her earlier, because when I did the chemotherapy, just me pacing back and forth in the living room, not knowing what to do with myself because there was nothing I could do,
Yeah.
is what always stands out to me.
Yeah. And having
Yeah.
something where you can just press
At a
button.
touch of a button.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember telling her too afterwards, I said, you know, during the daytime, my body had started getting a little bit more acclimated. I was starting to get used to it. But what I couldn't kick was at night, when your body is going to rest, when your body is relaxed and you're just laying down, that's when the hot flashes, that's when any lingering pain, any side effects come and attack you.
Yeah.
Because that's when your body notices it the most. And of course, that's when I'm trying to go to sleep.
Yeah.
So the result is you don't sleep.
Yeah.
You wake up in the middle of the night, you're hot, then you're cold, you know, everything's hurting. And when I started using this bracelet, it was like, oh my goodness, I can sleep again.
Yeah.
Which is so important to anybody's lifestyle, honestly, whether, you know, you're going through treatment or not.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of women who use the wave, who have gone through what you've been through, and, you know, you've been through it twice, having these two experiences with this medication, one of which was much more extreme than the other, you know, they get these hot flashes, and it's like your body has been put through an artificial menopause. It's not normally women, it takes years for estrogen to decrease and for menopause to kind of kick in. But for you, it's an overnight or 48 hours. It's a very fast, like, drop into menopause. And then the hot flashes start. And using the wave, it feels like maybe you have that control back.
Yeah. I think that's one thing that, you know, a lot of people don't realize is even after what we call active treatment, after the surgeries, the chemotherapy, the radiation, after all that, you still have years of dealing with the medication and dealing with the side effects. Like, it's not over yet. And then, you know, you have endless nights of just, okay, I'm really hot. Okay, I'm in pain. And, you know, it's just one thing after another. And, you know, if anything could take away even just a little bit of it and give you just a little bit of relief, you know, just that one night of good sleep it means so much.
Yeah. Okay, I want to talk about your community. I know you have support groups online. What do you want the world to know about supporting women who have gone through or are going through breast cancer? Because there's so much that I just didn't know. And I feel like people should know this about supporting someone in their family or their friend or their partner who has, if someone goes through this. What do you want people to know?
I think I really want people to know that they're not alone. I think that just cancer in general, or just really any disease in general, is still really taboo to talk about.
Yeah.
You know, for example, in my online community, I remember there was this poor woman. She posted photos of her scars and just asking for feedback and just asking, did other women go through this? Did they see the same results? Did they have the same side effects? And I thought it was really empowering. And you see all the comments from the other woman being like, yep, I went through it. You're going to be okay. We're going to get through this. And not a day later, I was so heartbroken because from that same woman, I saw her post an apology. And she apologized and she said, I'm so sorry for posting those photos. I understand it was a little bit more graphic for folks that perhaps didn't want to see that. And I didn't mean to offend anyone. And it broke my heart to know that, to think about what type of backlash she probably received from that. And it was really endearing to see like all the supportive comments from other women saying, no, it's fine. Like, we all have the same exact scars.
Yeah.
We all went through the same thing. She wasn't posting anything that the rest of us had not gone through. But I think because the topic is still so taboo and because people try to focus on the end goal of just finish the treatment, let's get through it, get to the end, that we kind of forget about the struggles and the journey that we go through in order to get through to the end.
Yeah. Most people just want to feel like on a daily basis that they're not alone and there's someone else out there. Yeah.
Most people on a daily basis, they just want to walk into an elevator and have somebody compliment them on the hair that they just lost.
That, like, truer words could not be spoken.
And I'm going to cry.
Oh, no, don't cry. You can cry. Actually, you can cry. You should cry. Do whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah.
Should we talk about something silly?
Sure.
Or should we go deeper?
Silly question. Yeah.
Did you get implants again after the second surgery?
So funny enough, we kept the same implants in.
Oh, that's good.
And my doctor even told me, she said, oh yeah, when I did your surgery, I saw your implants.
I mean, they look great.
Yeah.
They look fantastic.
Yeah.
They look amazing. What do you wish the medical industry knew?
I wish the medical industry was able to talk more in terms of side effects.
Yeah.
A lot of times I have called the doctor's office and I'll tell them, hey, I'm experiencing this side effect. And they will just flat out tell me, well, there are no studies to back up that the medication causes this side effect. And, it's a very by the book answer. And it's very dismissive. So, if I tell them about XYZ side effect and they tell me, nope, can't be that, go see your primary care or go see whatever other doctor. And then you post it online to the online community and a slew of women will tell you, oh yeah, no, that's happening to me too. And ironically enough, it happened right when I started the medication. And it gets you to thinking, well, what are the chances?
Also, isn't that basically a study? If hundreds or however many women are saying that they have this same experience.
Right.
Why hasn't there been a study?
Right.
This means something to these women and they're going through it and
And I think it goes to show more research, more studies do need to happen.
Yeah.
Not just on the diagnosis itself, but also on how these treatments affect, patients long term.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Stefanie. This has been wonderful. And I'm so glad that you met Liz in an elevator.
Me too.
Because we got to get to know each other and chat. And I'm so happy that the wave has helped you. And, thank you for telling your story and being here. And we appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks.